So what is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel once again. You know I appreciate having you here. Now today's a little bit different. I've been down to see the guys down at Hartgate's Motorcycles in Mitcham, and they've given me this bike for a few hours to give you a first impressions review of this, the all new 2019 Royal Enfield 650 Interceptor. Well, thank you very much for sticking around. It's a little bit different, as I said. This is the first Enfield I've ever ridden. I've never ridden this kind of retro classic bike before. Although it's brand new, it is a classic, trust me. It's based on an old 60s bike, I believe, that Enfield had out called, funny enough, the Interceptor. Obviously it's not the same as that bike. That's an old bike. This is a new bike. It just looks old. It's brilliant. It looks fantastic, I have to say. In the flesh, walking up to it in the showroom, it looked absolutely fantastic. But this is a first impressions review, so I'm going to give you the ideas of how I get on with it, how I fit on it, what I think of it. You know how it goes, you've been here before. Right, so before we get into the main crux of this video, let's get those formalities out of the way. One about me, which is I'm 6'2", 17 stone. I'm long in the leg and wide in the shoulders. That's just so you get the idea of where I'm coming from when it comes to how I fit on the bike and how I get on with the ergonomics and what it's like for me to ride. Also, the other formalities is, once again, thank you very much to Hartgate Motorcycles in Mitcham. If you are in the area, go and check them out. Go and grab a coffee, go and say hello. They're nice guys in there, they really are. I shall leave the link to Hartgate Motorcycles website in the descriptions box below, and also I shall leave the specifications from Royal Enfield about this bike in that same box. You can click on those links and go straight to the websites for all the information you need to know on this. So if you want to know a bit more about this bike and the other bikes they do, go and click on that website. The phone number's on there. You can give them a call and have a chat, or just pop in and have a brew. Right, so let's get on with this little review. Let's start with the ergonomics, the bars to peg to seat ratio, and it's all pretty neutral. I know that sounds weird, but it is. It's neither feet forward cruisy or tucked up behind your sporty. It's somewhere in between. The pegs took me a little bit of getting used to. I've been on it for about 10-11 miles now, and I've got used to them, but they're in a weird position. I kind of expected them slightly further forward or slightly further back, but that's just where my instinct told me they would be. But now I've ridden it for that amount of time, my feet hit them every single time, and it makes a little bit more sense being neutral. Because this seat is a bench, you can slide backwards and forwards like this, and you can find the position that you want to ride in. So I can ride back here if I want to stretch out a bit, and I can ride right into the tank if I wish to sort of like hustle it a little bit more, because obviously if you're going to hustle you want to grip the tank, and you can. It's nice, it doesn't splay your legs out too much. I can feel the ridge here because I'm tall, so right in here I can just feel the ridge. It's not uncomfortable, you just know it's there. The bars are a nice width apart, very nice for me, I like them. Remind me of old dirt bike handlebars, so that's quite cool. It's a very comfortable place to be. It's a little bit on the small side for me, but you do get used to these things, and I'm used to bikes being small. Most bikes are too small for me, to be honest. It's just something I have to live with. So we're going to head up to Box Hill as per usual to do the walk around, find my normal spot, and I'm going to walk around the bike, show you some bits on it, and go through the dash and some details of it, and show you a little bit around the bike and tell you something about it. You know how it goes. You know you've been here before. If you haven't been here before, why haven't you been here before? What is wrong with you? I hope you clicked on that subscribe button. I hope you've hit that notification button, because if you haven't, then I don't know what we're going to do with you. Anyway, off on a tangent again as usual, but yeah, we're going to have a little bit of a walk around. I'll show you some features of the bike, but in the meantime we're going to ride these country lanes and tell you a little bit more about the bike. Hopefully these cars will get out of my way and give us a bit more of a free run. I'll tell you what I've noticed that I didn't expect. I don't know what I had in my mind before. I think I had some preconceptions. As I said, I've never ridden a Royal Enfield, and my preconception of a Royal Enfield would be characterful. I think that's the word, characterful, as in it's going to ride like a bag of nails. And do you know what? I'm so pleasantly surprised. This is really smooth. It really is smooth. I mean, it's a parallel twin 650. It's pushing out only 47 brake horsepower, but it doesn't need any more because it's not that type of bike. It's not a race bike. It's a Sunday afternoon, clean it, go out in the sunshine. Don't go out on days like this. You can, obviously, because I have, but it's not that bike. That's not the market it's aiming for. I mean, in the bump, they actually quote California. So I don't think I'm doing it justice here, because this isn't California. However, this is a Royal Enfield. Forget California, it's designed for England. This is heritage right here. We're riding country lanes in England on a Royal Enfield. That's what this bike is all about. Forget California, forget what they say in the brochures. It's all about here. Yeah, the engine's really, really nice. I like it. It surprised me. I mean, it's not really powerful. As I said, 47 brake horsepower, so it's not going to pull your pants off. But it's got a nice dollop of torque. It's quite torquey. It all seems to come in very low in the rev range, and you can sit there and just sort of like stay in that gear and just ride it basically. You haven't got to worry about it. It is really a relaxing place to be, but it can hustle as well. And I mean, it doesn't hustle in the sports bike sense. I mean, it hustles in the sense that you're on a classic, but it handles more modern. You can have more fun on it. You don't feel like it's going to fall over and you're going to go flying into the trees at every bend like a proper old school classic. And it's very, very stable. It's got 18-inch wheels front and rear. I've never ridden a bike with 18-inch wheels front and rear, but it makes it very stable in a straight line like this. You can feel the centrifugal force working. I know that sounds weird and scientific, and I don't usually go down these roads because I'm not all scientific and usually I don't know what I'm talking about, but trust me on this one, it feels very stable and it sounds nice as well. Even though it's got the stock exhausts on, it's got a nice burble about it. It's got a 270-degree crank, so although it's a parallel twin, it does sound like a V-twin. And when you back off, you've got a nice little bit of pop and overrun there. You probably can't hear it on this microphone because it's in the chin bar, but trust me on this one, it sounds quite nice. It's not loud at all, but it sounds nice. It's got a deep tone to it. Now, there's a lot of airflow from the front of the bike, being a naked bike, obviously. I've said it on many reviews that if you're riding a naked bike and you expect no wind up front, then there's something slightly wrong with you. But it's a pure wind, so it's nice. It's not like having a fairing that's wrong for you or a screen that's wrong for you and you get buffeted. It's not that at all. It's just nice pure wind. Mirrors, pretty decent. I don't like the look of them, to be honest, but they're pretty decent. You can see behind you. They're high enough so they go over your elbows and you get a pretty good view of what's behind. I mean, it keeps in with the retro theme, so in that sense they're good. I just don't like the look of them. But you know what? Most owners are going to replace those and put the bar end ones on. I can guarantee that. I can guarantee this bike will mainly be sold with bar end mirrors. I mean, on roads like this bike is really, really nice. Oh, it's got a 6-speed gearbox, which I believe is the first for Royal Enfield, and that's nice. So you're not searching for that extra gear. Suspension wise, I'm not actually too sure, because I can't push the bike because of the state of the roads, and it's pretty icy and cold. I'm not too sure. I can tell you over bumpy roads it's okay. You can tell it's a cheaper suspension setup than say a modern bike because it doesn't soak them up as well. It's a little bit bumpy, but not in the sense that it throws you all over the place. They aren't adjustable at the front, and they've got a little bit of preload adjust at the back, which is a twin shock at the back. I'll show you once again when I walk round. But it takes a little bit of getting used to. I don't know whether that's something to do with the 18-inch wheels as well, where it feels just a little bit different. I don't know what it is. There's nothing wrong with the suspension. I'm not slagging off the suspension. I'm just saying you feel the undulations just a little bit more than I would on what I would call a modern bike. Even though this is a modern bike, don't get me wrong, this is a modern bike. It's just an old looking bike. So let's take this bike down the roads it was born to be on. Got to be careful of ice. Oh, do you know what? I never thought I'd ever say this in my life, that I'm falling in love with a Royal Enfield. It makes sense. It makes absolute sense on these roads. Yeah, it's not the greatest. It's not the best handling bike, the suspension's not the best, it's not the most powerful, ergonomics are not spot on, but I'm riding a Royal Enfield and it feels quite smooth, and it's around the country lanes of England. It's bloody cold, but I'm still having fun. I've got a massive smile on my face, but it's not a smile like a scary smile you get with some bikes, as in the power, the adrenaline rush. It's a smile as in, this is what this bike is meant to be doing. I feel like the bike's happy. I know that sounds really weird, and you probably want to send the doctors around my house to check my brain, but I feel like I'm treating the bike well. I'm taking it out for the day. Do you know what? It really handles well. It's shocking. I wasn't expecting it to handle this well. I know the tyres are good, but because the suspension's a little bit cheap, I was expecting to crash and bounce all over the place. But I'm having so much fun. I really am having fun. I'm feeling all nostalgic, and I wasn't even around in the 60s, but I'm feeling the love for the 60s. And I have to say, this clutch is really nice. It's really light. It's an assisted slipper clutch, so even if you're banging it down the gearbox, it shouldn't lock that back wheel up, and it's nice and light. It is a good addition. Putting that on is a nice touch. That's enough fun for now. Let's get into Box Hill Car Park so I can give you a little bit of a look around on this bike. Right, so here we have the Royal Enfield Interceptor 650 2019 model, and it's a good looking bike. I do like these classics. Right, so let's go over the bike. I'll show you around the bike. We'll go through some bits. As I say always, you know how it goes. You've been here before, and if you haven't been here before, why the hell not? So let's start with the wheels. You've got an 18-inch on the front and an 18-inch on the back, and the tyres are these Pirelli's Phantom Sport comps that they have on a lot of these retro style bikes. So the front wheel is size-wise, where we're looking, 190/18. Weird. And on the back, you've got a 130/70/18. So you're going to be limited with tyres, but these tyres are pretty good, so it's not a bad choice. Right, brakes, you've got a single disc on the front, huge single disc on the front, not sure the size, but it's bloody massive, and one on the back. It is ABS front and rear. While I'm down here, suspension is just normal forks, non-adjustable at the front, and on the back you've got twin shocks. You've got them that side and that side. That's what twin means. I don't know why I looked over the bike. You know what twin means. And they've got this piggyback style. They are adjustable for preload only, I believe. Engine is a parallel twin 650. It's a 270-degree crank, as I said, so it sounds like a V-twin. But it's pretty nice. I like the styling. It's very old looking. It's a mixture of air and oil cooled. So these fins actually do something. And obviously so does that. It's nice. I like the polished alley on the side. I'm not a fan of chrome and shiny, but I do like polished alley on these retro style bikes. Right, the exhausts, you've got one either side, and they just go straight through and out the back in this style they've got here. As I said, they're not very loud on the way up here, but they've got a nice deep burble to them. So whip those off, put some nice cans on there, and she shall sound very, very nice indeed. Let me talk about the pegs. This is the problem I was having on the way up here. Because this bracket sticks so far out, I found my feet were sitting there at first, so this little bit here was uncomfortable until I got used to it, and my feet were out here and I was turning my foot in to use the gears. It felt a little bit weird. It felt like the pegs were too far out. I would prefer them narrower and more in here because it's a little bit more sporty, but as I said, when you get on it you might find it a little bit strange, but it doesn't take long for you to get used to it. Rear passenger pegs are just your fold out style. You've got this grab rail here, and you've got this as well. I don't know what this is for. Oh, I do actually, because it's got a centre stand. So this would be the handle you grab for when you use the centre stand. See, I can work these things out as I go along, you know. But the actual grab rail is here. I'm not sure how this seat would be for pillions. There's not enough padding in there for me, but it suits the style of the bike. This is a very stylish seat. It's not there for comfort. It's not the most comfortable seat in the world, but then there's a lot of motorcycles out there that have pants seats, so It's not a deal breaker. You can change the seat, you can chop it up, you can do what you want with the seat. This is a very customizable bike. That's what I'd do. I'd like to have it and then just sort of like, I don't know, just do things to it. No, not in that way. Leave it, people, leave it. Let's turn on the lights and show you the lights. At the front, can you see that? That's a normal headlight. It's a bulb. No running lights, no fancy LEDs, just a headlight. And on the side, indicators with, guess what? Yes, bulbs. Well, it is a classic. On the back, you got your centre light, which is brake and normal light, and then your indicators on the side, all bulbed, and they work. They flash, they brake, they light up, they do what they're supposed to do. I mean, it is pretty ugly, this thing. I've said it on many bikes that when they do this retro style, they stick the lights on and they're kind of not an afterthought, because this is what they were like back then, but they're kind of ugly. We've moved on. If you rip all that off, let me go around the other side. If you was to rip all that off and just leave this bit with a nice little plate under here and some small indicators, that back end will be tidy. Very, very tidy indeed. Oh look, I've just noticed this, and I like to look in things, so let's put the key in there and see what it does. That's what it does. Toolbox in there, and that, oh, do I pull that? No, I don't know what it does. What does it do? I'm not going to pull it. It looks like some kind of release. Maybe it releases the seat, but I'm not going to pull it, because I'll pull it, it'll break, the seat will fall off, and I'll never be able to get back. So you've got your toolkit in there, nothing else, no storage, just your toolkit. So not as exciting as I thought it was going to be. Sorry about that. I like these little hill guards. Little, whatever they're made of, stainless, alley, but I like that. That's nice. That's a nice little touch. I do like retro bikes, I really do, but I don't like old bikes. I like modern retro, so this falls in a nice category for me. Right, so let's go through the dash and the handlebar controls. You're going to be amazed by this. This is one of the most fancy setups you will ever see. Okay, I lied. It's just a needle sweep with a little computer down here. You've got your lights on this side, engine management, battery, your voltage, sorry, your neutral, ABS, and your oil. You've got full beam and your indicator light here. Now your indicator is the same one for both sides. I'm not a fan of that, but it's not a deal breaker, is it? I do like the fact that this is analog. I do love analog clocks, especially a rev counter. There's something quite nice about watching the needle bounce up and down. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about this computer here, this little LCD screen here. It's got your fuel gauge in it, and it's also got your miles, trip A, and also trip B. That's it. That's all you've got. Nothing fancy. It is purely a classic bike. But do you need any more? Yeah. Are you going to get any more? No. But the price this bike is, do you know what? It's worth every penny. As far as I'm concerned, this bike is worth every penny of what it is, because it's not expensive. I shall put the price on the screen. See, there you go. Right, controls on this side. You've got your clutch, which is assisted, so it's nice and light when it's running. You've got your full beams, your normal lights. You've got your push to pass here, which will light up on there. Also your full beams will light up on there. Indicators, as I said, they light up here. Same light for both sides, and your horn. Over this side you've got your kill switch, your front brake, and your starter. That's it. Obviously accelerator. That's it. There's nothing fancy. There's no tricks or things to get you scared on here. You haven't got to take a degree in computers just to start the bike. It is nice and simple. It's classic motoring. It is motorcycling at its purest. Right, so what we're going to do now is head up back to the lanes, back to the shop. I'm going to head down some more country lanes. We're going to have a little bit more fun, ride her a bit more, and at the end I'm going to summarise, tell you what I think about it, what my conclusions are, and the ultimate question is, would I buy one? Would I have one in my garage? So stick around for that bit. As soon as I've got it running, before I go out and hit these country lanes, let's have a little listen to this exhaust. I told you, she doesn't sound too bad at all, does she? Right, so I'm sitting here just under 50, about 45, 46 miles an hour. I'm in top gear 6th, sitting at 3,000 revs. And if I accelerate, it doesn't go excitingly quick, but it doesn't chug and then pick up. It's really smooth. I mean, considering this is a twin, it's smooth, but they've done a great thing of keeping character. You can feel it. I don't know how to explain it. It's smooth, but you can feel the lumps in it. That makes no sense whatsoever. I know what I'm talking about, I just can't explain it to you guys. Do you know what? It's a really nice bike to be on. I don't want to go quick. It doesn't encourage me to ride fast. You get on some bikes and the fun bit is you're blasting. That is the fun. You can't have fun unless you're flat out. This, 40 miles an hour, just riding through the little villages. And I'm having a blast. I am really enjoying myself. I am frozen to the core. I am absolutely numb. I'm on the edges of cryogenically being frozen. I'm being preserved slowly as we speak. But I'm out on a motorcycle and I'm enjoying myself. And I'm riding around the UK on a Royal Enfield. I know I keep laughing and saying the same thing, but I never expected I would be. I never envisioned myself riding around on a Royal Enfield. I mean, look at all these people in their boxes with their heating on, all nice and warm and toasty. Are they having a better time than me? Are they? Well, of course they are. They're warm and toasty. But are they having more fun? No. I'm having the most fun. In this little procession here of 20 cars in front of me and 20 cars behind, I'm having the most fun. You know what I mean. I'm on a bike. I'm riding around England. It's not pissing down with rain. It's great. It really is great. If you look at it as a classic, or in the price range it is, it's pretty good. Although it looks not cheap, but it's on the cheaper side. It's not luxury. It all works. It all clicks nicely. It doesn't feel like it's going to break. But that adds to it. It adds to the charm. It's like the bulbs. They haven't got an LED with the lights, and I kind of like that. I kind of like the boldness of it, but they haven't gone mad and gone all modern retro. They've gone proper retro. They've gone bloody bulbs. They've gone bulbs. I mean, the indicators are ugly, but you know we can change them. They're pretty easy to change. Anyone can do that. Anyone with a spanner. So yeah, get rid of the mirrors, get rid of the indicators, chop that backlight off, chop it up a bit. It could be a really, really good looking bike. I mean, it's really good looking as it is, but it could be a really, really good looking bike. You could put an extra really in there. Take these mirrors off, put the bar end ones on. See, I'm already trying to customize it. It's not even my bike. I'm only out recording it on this video, and I already want to chop it up. I already want to make it my own, want to customize it. So that in itself says to me, I like this bike, because I'm planning to do stuff on it. I'm planning to, do you know what, I'm looking at little bits. I could do that. I could take that front mudguard, do that with it. I could put these exhausts on it. Oh dear, I'm already spending money. It's not even mine. There's not really a lot of negatives, to be honest. There's not really a lot of negatives. If you're looking at a classic bike, this style of bike, there's a whole load of positives. It's a nice place to be. It's relaxing, it's engaging, it's charming. That's what this bike is. It's charming. It's nice to look at. It makes you feel happy, makes you smile. It makes me nostalgic, and I wasn't even around when the original one of these was around. So what does that say? What does that even mean? It's getting in my soul. It's getting under my skin, this bike. Not in a bad way. It's just getting under my skin. I'm liking it. Right, so seeing as we're stuck in traffic, all these cars, because we came up to a level crossing, the train crossed inconveniently, which backs up all these cars in front of us. I'm going to summarize and have a quick recap. So let's start with the mirrors. Mirrors, very good, like them. Don't like the look of them, but like the position of them. You can see behind you, pretty good. Seat, not that comfortable. It's a little bit thinly padded for my taste, maybe my weight even. And it's a bench seat, so you're going to slide backwards and forwards slightly, but that is the style, so you're going to have to put up with that, and you do get used to it. Tank, I quite like. I'm not sure of the literage of the tank. I should have looked that up before I left. I did glance. I think it's around 13.5. I'm not sure. Again, look at the specifications down below for that one. But the tank's a nice size, as in you can get your legs around it and grip it if you need to. The bars, yep, I like them. Nice width. Pegs, a little bit awkward, as I said, but I've got used to those. Handling, You accept it for what it is. It's not razor sharp and it's not ultra slow. It's in between. It's a classic bike, it's not a sports bike, so you've got to take it for what it is and judge it on what it's supposed to do. And it does what it's supposed to do brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly. It's engaging, you can have fun without going mad. Suspension will show its limits quite early, but as I said, you're not racing this about, so if you're finding those limits, you're probably riding this bike over what it was designed to do. If you ride it as it's supposed to be ridden, it's good. It's engaging, it's charming. I keep saying charming, and I'm going to keep on saying charming because it is. Tyres very grippy. I have no slides. I've had no issues with the sliding of the tyres. Engine, I love the engine. I really love this engine. It's quirky, as in it's smooth, but it's lumpy. Makes no sense, I know. Ride one, you will know what I mean. You will understand what I mean if you ride one. Hasn't got a lot of power, 47 brake horsepower. It's not going to rip your eyeballs back into your skull. But for sitting at these speeds, just running off the torque, it's a beautiful engine. It's so much better than I thought it was going to be. It is so much better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be all sort of clattery, everything loose. But you know what? It feels tight, it feels nice. It's a real good bike. Clutch is nice and light because of the assist slipper on there. Front brake lever, it could do with being adjustable. I've got small hands, so I would like that adjustable. It's just on the edge of my fingers. Not a deal breaker, but it would be nice to adjust it. This bit here, I love the analog clocks. Very simple, computer system, very simple. 2 trips, an odometer, and your fuel gauge, that's it, nothing more. It's just simple. This is simple motorcycling, probably at its best. And I'm loving it more because I wasn't expecting anything. Well, my preconceptions were it was going to be awful. And my preconceptions have been smashed over those trees and somewhere far, far away into the land of you don't know what you're talking about, because this bike I really like. So the big question is, would I have one of these in my garage? Would I buy one with my hard-earned Spondulix? And the answer is simply, and I know you know the answer to this already, it's yes, I would. I love the simplicity of it. I love the styling of it. I love what I could do with this, what this bike could be. And I love the price. For the price, it's a bloody bargain. So yeah, 100% I'd have this bike in my garage. I wouldn't have this colour. I'm not a fan of this colour, to be honest. I mean, if you like orange, it's a nice orange. But bike-wise, package-wise, everything about the bike, yeah, I would. I would. Right, so let's wrap this video up. Once again, thank you very much to Heartgate Motorcycles down in Mitcham for giving me this bike for the review. Really appreciate it. If you are in the area, go and check them out. Go and check out their website below. I shall leave the link in their description. Go and have a coffee, have a brew and say hello. If you need any information on this bike or any other bikes that they do, go and check them out, give them a bell. If you do go down there or phone them up, please remember to say that this channel sent you, the Chronicles of Mr. Fish. It'll be most appreciated. The more people they know came from this channel, the more chance I've got of getting more bikes off them. So it's all good, it is all good. Also down below you can check out the full specifications for this bike as per Royal Enfield. That'll be down there as well. So it just leaves me to say thank you very much for watching, really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, to do all those things that you need to do. Also hit that notification bell so you can get the drop on everyone else. So I'm going to head back now and warm up because I'm bloody freezing. You know I love you all. Stay safe, fish out.
Get all your bags, get out my house. I don't want your stuff around. I never did you wrong, but you did me wrong. So go ahead, get gone. Get all your bags, get out my house. I don't want your stuff around. I never did you wrong, but you did me wrong. So go ahead and get gone.